Welcome back to another weekly session, Sunday session. Uh, I'm Mr. Traits with Symbol Alerts. Let's get dive into it. Hope you guys having a great day so far. We had a pretty active, you know, 5 days of trading days last week, and it was very much likely the way that I expected for the quarter four. However, this year is completely different. We see so many abnormal activities, and we're not gonna see a lot, as I mentioned, so many times. But last week we had few good stocks that been traded so far. Also, like the previous, I mean the 2 weeks ago, uh, we had we had few good stocks and trades. But I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'm so happy that we also can get this much activities towards the market, because it's getting boring sometimes when you, I mean, as a full-time trader, when you want to just purely trade and um, have your focus on all these activities. It's just so hard for me personally to just sit down and just looking at the paint dry, and there's no setup. So that's why I took days off, going on vacations and all that. And it's great to do that. Sometimes when you want to kind of regain or reassess yourself, it's always good time to time to do that. I always recommend everyone who kind of overtrade, or for those that they don't know what they're exactly doing, they should not really like go out of they should not just go for vacation, because they get distracted. They don't have the complete dedication or discipline. They're not disciplined enough to come back to the core of the business. So for those that know what they're doing and they sit down and overtrade, I do suggest them to just take a chill pill, set back, and sometimes it's better to reassess yourself, reassess your judgment, and your risk management will be better if you have a break. Sometimes it's always healthy. You gotta keep yourself healthy, because we're in the game of psychology. We're not in the game of gambling or anything like that. I mean, that's purely nonsense when someone tells you that. A lot of people are not educated enough. They don't know exactly the market. They don't know exactly the system. So for those that do know, they know that how much psychology affects their action, and how it's important. So it's always like that, to make yourself more adapt and make yourself more comfortable when you are trading. If you're not in the right mental health, or if you're not in a good mood, trading it could be you know explosion trigger for you to destroy everything that you have. So you don't want to be that person. You don't want to reach to that level. So it's always good to have that time for yourself, and then study and come back, revalue yourself, revalue your trades, reevaluate yourself, reevaluate your trades and everything, such a thing like that. So enough with the brief, I guess, contribution for you. Let's get into the get into our Sunday session, our weekly watch list for this week that coming up. I'm gonna start with our swing trade ideas that we had last week, um, and that is gonna be Manchester United. MANU, ticker symbol MANU. This was a great call. I personally, what I kind of wanted was, I mean, it basically happened. What I actually wanted, reached to that level. It happens, and um, as we expected last week, we talked about Man United. What happened? What's the situation? They want to sell the club. It's a football team. It's, I would say, soccer team. And they want to sell their the owner of the club. They want to sell their um, uh, club, and that created a lot of excitement because it's the biggest club in the world of football. So that created a lot of positive outcome, and a lot of good investors, famous investors, reach out to kind of like create that offer. And that's as far as we know, that few I guess I mentioned last week, few high level individuals of you know Saudis, and also Zara, I believe. There were few more of these individuals that try to offer to purchase the club. So we still don't know how is that going to be. I mean, that's very inside the club what's going to happen. So we don't know that, but there still institutions and traders and investors react positively towards the stock. And as we seen, stock grind up from 17 to 22. And then what I was looking for, because I personally didn't want this to be missed out for a swing also, because I still believe that Manu is still in a healthy position, in a technical wise, and also fundamentally it's okay to do that. But you got to keep that in mind. There's always something that could turn things around. That's why I'm here today to tell you guys. I mean, from last week we had this. This is a great time to kind of like maybe take your profit if you're not comfortable. Um, Take your profit from the day that we kind of started. I mean, on Monday I was expecting the pullback. We did get a pullback as I kind of wanted. I loaded up on Monday, and stock is already up from Monday, and it reaches to the 23.34 foot. So I was looking for, mainly I'm still looking for that 24 range. I think that eventually could happen based on overall reaction to it, but you never know. I mean, we might see this, kind of consolidation mood on this one, if it's really gonna grind back up or not. But I mean, so far we can see that the pattern shaped and on a technical side, and we had like 6%, 7% call on this so far. So I mean, if that's something that you wanted from the call, by all means take your profit and enjoy your profit. But if you looking for more and kind of want to adjust yourself, keep your make sure that you know what exactly you're doing, what's your plan, when you enter, what's your entry, when is gonna be your exit. So don't blindly just buy and hope for that some price to reach. Have your plan, have your exit plan before you buy the stock. So that's one thing I always encourage people to do that. I personally do that. I mean, I always have my exit plan, and if I want to take partial profit, or if I want to um, take my entire profits, or um, do whatever I want. So far, Manu was the great one. Next thing, I think this will be our last call on GEO. The GEO was amazing. I'm starting with the swing ideas mainly, and then I'll go for the day trade ideas. GEO, magnificent play. I can't believe that we came this far with GEO. Amazing call, amazing play. I'm so grateful with this call. I still have it. I took the majority of my profit, but I mainly rotates. So it's been grinder. So I still have that initial position, which was $7.21. So I mean, this was great. As we reviewed all the fundamentals, as we reviewed all the institutional position, basically, the Michael Burry asset management on this position. That was like the first ideas that I have personally, and so far it was a great massive runner. I mean, we had this 72%, I believe. I think if you look for that 721, that was beautiful. I mean, so far we had this, yeah, 71% runner. However, this is the time the trend line cracked so far. uh the downtrend line is on its way. At this point, I would expect this to pull back, possible consolidation few days, and then profit taking area. I mean, a lot of profit taking will take place. So last call, if you want to take your profit, this is a great time. Take all your profit, or just take it or leave it, whatever you want to do it. GEO, great call. I don't think I'm gonna have this on our next weekly session anymore. I think this will be our last conversation about GEO. So yeah, I will remove this and reassess with another ideas if there's a good setup. But that was a great setup so far for the past, I think, for 2 months now. Yeah, let's get to our day trading ideas. TBLA was one of those, brand new high float stocks kind of thing. Um, I personally that day wasn't really. I think that was a day off of me. Yeah, I was out of town, and I know that this was a great call, great runner so far. We had this range to 327. I think that was the maximum resistance I had, and I also have a daily trend line at 365. So far, that pre-market gap made these things really run up. I think they came up with the news. I do familiar with the company. I think they're in the advertising, publishing company, and they had this PR that they came up with a 30-year commercial agreement with Yahoo, developing leading offering for advertisers, publishers, and merchants on open web. So I mean that's a good news. I mean the big name just add up Yahoo, so that's a good name. Uh, that is the reason. Based on the news, I put it on our watch list, and I do think that it could be a good potential runner again, for the upcoming week. I mean, so far we haven't seen too much of run on this one. I mean, if you look back to the 1 minute chart, um, for the past 5 days, let's say. I mean, we the main run up was on the pre-market, great pre-market play actually. If you woke up early, if you get the call early, you always make money. And then at the market open, we had this fade out short, great short setup, and it just kind of like fade out and so far hold that 240 range. So I would expect this to kind of be into that range, and I mean possibly like just go back above the 320 range if ever happen. But I don't think a lot of volume can really do much on this because it's a high float stock. It does need a lot of volume, obviously, but don't expect too much out of this if nothing's gonna happen this week. If they come up with a new PR, we're definitely gonna see more run on this, in my opinion. Um, and also keep that in mind. A lot of institutional would like this, so they probably gonna pump this again, in my opinion, if that's gonna ever happen. But keep that in mind. Things can just be into that shape, and then great ready for the short sell. I mean, so far we can see that ascending already shape, so it's still a good range for short setup. Unless if we really break through that upper trend line to that $3 over the VWAP, still in that down downtrend. So let's see how it's gonna plays out. So I would have this on our watch for the upcoming week, and I hope that we get something out of something old play. But I personally looking for new tickers come on Monday and next week. So, but I have it on the watch list. Next thing we have is RMED. I personally like this one. RMD was a sneaky one, kind of. It came out with the PR. I think they had like a more than 800 procedures in leading U.S. European hospital. It's a healthcare pumper. So far, it has this after hour good gap. I think it was on Thursday. We had this kind of initial volume increase. This stock is also a low float, and at the open flush down, gap up over the VWAP, and then after hour they wanted this to really break out. I think that this is the time that most of the investor and trader missed out because of the timing. But so far, I think there's a lot of insider action on this one as well. So far, it reached that 511, and then it holds that 346 range. So that kind of, I mean, this is a previous high. That kind of really a good sign for this to still grind up. And as you guys can see, for the after hour, before the market closed on Friday, it has this pump, and so far it's holding its gain. So personally, I think there's a gap to 564 if this ever gonna reach to a new high, and then possibly can move up higher. The stock is on low float, has this news, and you know, I think it's a U.S. company if I'm not wrong. So everything is positive so far, but keep that in mind. They might have an offering, but if they're gonna do an offering, they're probably gonna pump the price, as I always mention. So far, on a day on an hourly and daily, this stock has been higher high, and it's been a grinder. So we will see how this goes. I have this on our watches for tomorrow, or possibly we're gonna hear this. We'll just gonna have it just needs volume, obviously, as always, and that's what I like about last week, because we see a lot of these fresh volume coming in, and these really lower floated stocks are having like 70 million shares traded on a day. If I'm gonna talk about like last year, I think the minimum shares traded on any top gainer list was 50 million, or like max 40. That's a huge amount of volume on just maybe like fourth gainer on the list, or a fifth gainer on the list. That's a huge difference than compared to now. We only see like top gainer number one has like 70 million. So that's you see that market change. It's all about game of adaptability. But when I see that, I'm kind of excited, because I want to see more activities. I want us to gain as much as we can, and enjoy our tradings. Obviously, who doesn't want? So RMED, it's gonna be on the top, and last one, not least one, Tops was a great play. I think that was a number one. That was a number one for last week. It has this, ABCD for multi days, and I personally like this. I traded it. Tops was good. I think on a few days, on Wednesday, I did miss out the initial trade, and the second day has this gap again, but fade out to the afternoon only early. You can see that the difference early plays are always good to trade. You don't want to really hold on to anything and then expecting too much. So I would expect this trend kind of continues for at least a Monday, um, and see how this plays out. I mean, so far we had this 634. I think they came up with also a new news. I do know Tops TOPS. I trade this long time ago. It's a shipping company. It's a it used to be a really good rat. I mean, all of these stocks are not ideal, obviously, as I always say. Top's also one of those stocks that on the side we always heard that scanner called it Tops. I think back in last 2020, it was on micro penny, and so far it grind up pretty nicely. If I'm not wrong, yeah, it was on that $1 range. But yeah, I mean, it's been a grinder when you don't see a lot, when you don't see a type, A plus setup or B plus. These are not really A plus, but I would call them a B plus setup, because I think that's what you get these days. And Tops was a good one. But I would expect this to kind of like run up again. I think the recent news was they enter into a warrant exercise transaction for 4.8 million gross proceed. So they just exercise their warrant. So that's also something that they might not gonna really need cash at this point. If they do have offering, but it's less likely to happen at this point. So keep that in mind if this is going to be on your watch list. There's a possible um, gap up again. I'm hoping that this will be our kind of like number one again, because the float is good, the setup is good. So I like this stock if it's gonna really run up again. But as always, never have a love relationship with all these tickers. You only have to trade them. You only need them in one day, and that's it. And next day you don't really need them, unless if you're seeing them every day, multi days, back to back. So you want to kind of like have a different strategy maybe, but still it's better if you trading them differently in every day, because they act differently every days. So keep that in mind. Anyway, this is gonna be a wrap for today, for our Sunday session. I hope you guys liked it. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and also subscribe to our newsletter to get all these mailed to you. And I hope you guys love this, and this was a benefit for you, and you guys enjoyed, learn something new. That's my goal. I want to encourage you guys to learn more, and make sure that you're always prepared. You always know what type of trader that you want to be. So hope that will help. Talk to you guys on Monday. If you guys have any questions, just reach out to the support or reach out to me. Take care, everyone.